Hey everyone. This time we're going to be checking out the PlayStation 1 version of Qbert. This is a really good port of the game. I think they did a lot to actually make it more functional than some other console ports did. It just feels a lot better. It's more fun to play than some of the other ones that I've played. And it honestly looks pretty good for what it is. What I really like about this is they didn't just do the arcade port. That would have been just absolutely ridiculous if they just went with the arcade port for, this game. It would be pretty similar to when I had just played the Mr. Do SNES port, and that one was really not great, mostly because of what they did. Here, they added stuff to it so you don't just have the arcade game, and it works really well. I'll talk about the other mode that I really liked in a bit. First, I want to talk about what made this version so much better, just how it felt and how it controlled. So normally with Qbert, you have to have the joystick kind of tilted. It has to be sort of at an angle so it actually plays right. Because Qbert is on sort of like it's a kind of 3D isometric game. And the way you move is at 45-degree angles. So you're not moving straight up, straight down, or left and right. You're obviously moving at the angle, so you need to do like up left, up right, that sort of thing. And it feels really good on the PlayStation 1 to do that because you don't really need to kind of tilt the controller a little bit to get the right angles. You can just press, left, right, up and down, and it will respond in the way that you think it should. I'm really glad that they did it this way because with some of the other stuff, you kind of felt how kind of different and kind of jarring it was to play, especially with a controller or with a joystick that wasn't oriented properly. There is one story that I kind of want to bring up here as we go into the next mode. That is from Warren Davis's book, where he was talking about how when he was testing out Qbert with a few different people back at Williams, how they would how he would have them sit down and they would immediately turn the joystick the way, just like a cross, how a normal D-pad is. And they would tell him that the controls aren't very good because they would have tilted the joystick. And it was kind of interesting to hear that. Because it is kind of like an unnatural thing. You want to have your D-pad in that cross, you want to have the joystick like that. And to see it lined up differently is kind of strange. I could see how it would be kind of jarring to people until they figured out what they were supposed to be doing. So now that I've rambled on about that one for probably longer than I should have, let's talk about this mode. It's kind of like an adventure mode type thing. You have kind of this central hub that you have to go to, and you have your weird little blue Qbert who takes you to the different spots. I like how the blue Qbert kind of has like a little wizard hat and everything. It's kind of cool. In this, you have like a few power-ups, which are kind of nice, and you still have the nice little discs and that sort of thing. So you have your escape discs that you can use. You can still jump off the thing as well, and that's kind of cool that they kept that on there, because that's the way, the arcade was. You could accidentally jump off the pyramid. Well, you can do the same thing with this. What I don't really like is the way the balls will just kind of drop on you. So you have a few enemies in Qbert. You have the balls, you have like the little snake that comes after you, and the snake is fine, you can avoid that one, but those goddamn balls, man, they they just kind of come out of nowhere, and it feels a little unfair in this version I feel like it was better in some of the other versions I played. Or maybe some of the other home versions have eliminated those altogether. But it feels a little unfair here, even though you kind of know it's coming. I also want to talk about just how good the game looks. It just, for some weird reason, I just like the way this PS1 port looks. You have Qbert kind of doing more animations than what you had seen on previous like home console ports. It doesn't look as nice as the arcade, I will say that, just because, he's not really doing the exact same thing. I feel like the arcade, just with the pixel graphics, you saw a little bit more of just what he was doing, like his knees bending and that kind of stuff. With this one, they try to get that, but it sort of just looks like Qbert's being smushed, like somebody's pushing him down. Aside from that, it's bright, it's really colorful. I think the enemies look nice. Stuff kind of looks like it has a bit of weight to it. It's a nice looking game for a PS1 title. It's not going to be great, but, hey, it looks pretty good for what it is. It's also really kind of flashy. There's a lot of movement going on. It feels like the game is just bright, colorful, and sort of happy, which is nice. You want some games like that, 'cause not everything needs to be depressing and sad. So I think this is a pretty good port of the game. It's not the best one out there, but, it's better than some of the other ones, like the NES port, or definitely the Atari 2600 port, or a few others. I think this does a good job of kind of adding more to the game, so you don't just have the arcade mode. That would be really awful if the only thing you had was the arcade mode on a PS1 game. That would have just been an absolute waste of the disc entirely. So, yeah, this is a lot of fun. I enjoyed playing this one quite a bit. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed what you saw, please consider liking, subscribing, and all the other fun stuff that I guess more successful YouTubers than I am say at the end of their videos. Talk to you guys later. Bye.